Greetings everyone. In this video, we want to briefly discuss the water crisis in the city of Bulawayo, the city of kings and queens. If I only say the city of kings without mentioning queens, I will be under fire. From 1912, the Rhodesian government tried to harness water from Zambezi to Bulawayo, a distance which is over plus or minus 400 kilometers. So bringing water from Zambezi to Bulawayo to alleviate the water crisis in Bulawayo has been there for many years. The Rhodesian government did not succeed. Instead, it built dams around the city of Bulawayo, which pump water to the city. Ncema Dam, Umzingwane Dam, which happens to be in my rural district, and the other dams around the city. Later on, Mchabezi Dam was constructed by the Zimbabwean government. But the water crisis continues to persist in Bulawayo. But the water crisis, as we covered in our theoretical journal, Vanguard, is not only in Bulawayo, it is a countrywide problem which needs a solution. But in this video, I want briefly to focus in Bulawayo and begin a conversation to say, how do we address the water crisis in Bulawayo, where people will not experience water shedding as is the case now? We know that Zimbabwean government established the Zimbabwe National Water Authority, ZINWA, which is responsible for managing water in Zimbabwe. You will also know that if you want to drill, say, a private borehole, whether in Bulawayo or any other part of the country, you need to get permission from ZINWA so that you drill the borehole. Last week, as reported by the daily newspaper in Bulawayo, the Bulawayo City Council, through the town clerk, announced that it was going to resume water shedding, 48-hour water shedding in the city of Bulawayo. But why water shedding when the ZINWA spokesperson tells us, as quoted by the media last week as well, that the ZINWA spokesperson, Majori Munyonga, was quoted by the newspapers in Bulawayo as saying 60.6% of dams are full, which is higher than the normal 47.1%, which is normally recorded by the dams in this period. And we're further told by the same ZINWA spokesperson that water that is available in the dams in and around Bulawayo will last for about 14 months or so. Of course, others are saying the water will last for 6 months. But then why do we have this water crisis if our dams have recorded enough water to last more than 6 months? We know that ZINWA pumps raw water into the city. The Bulawayo City Council, which does not pump raw water, is responsible for providing or managing that water in the city. ZINWA pumps raw water. Bulawayo City Council cleans the water. But it's also responsible, as announced by the town clerk, for water shedding in the city of Bulawayo. And the Bulawayo City Council says the water shedding that is currently underway in Bulawayo, it's as a result of load shedding in Zesa, by Zesa, at the power pumps where water is being pumped. So therefore, residents will have to do with the water shedding. What is clear to us, and after making consultations, is that there's serious lack of coordination in the management of water in the city of Bulawayo, which is a national problem. Zinwa and the Bulawayo City Council and other stakeholders that are mandated to deal with water are not working together. There's lack of coordination. We are agreeing also with Kumbulan Maposa of Matabeleland Institute for Human Rights, also says the water crisis which the residents of Bulawayo are currently experiencing is as a result of governance issue, because there are too many stakeholders involved. Zinwa and the Bulawayo City Council are not working together in the management of water. What is not clear to us is whether this lack of coordination is because the Bulawayo City Council, in terms of political leadership, is under the control of the opposition Movement for Democratic Change Alliance, or the city council that is the staff, because the town clerk, Christopher Dube, is not a member, is not appointed on party affiliation, whether there is sabotage by officials in the city council so that in the next election, the opposition loses votes. What other commentators are saying, which we are agreeing, is that ZANU-PF and the MTC Alliance have all failed the people of Bulawayo and in other cities where there's water crisis, to an extent that the residents are not getting water pumped into their taps. Residents are suffering due to lack of proper coordination, lack of governance around the management of water. So to resolve this crisis, water crisis in Bulawayo, there must be a summit, water summit, to discuss the whole question of governance in the city of Bulawayo, which is our focus in this video. To say, how do you improve governance in the city of Bulawayo and ensure that the residents do receive water in their taps? Because it cannot be correct to say residents will not get water when we do have water in our dams, which will last more than 6 months. We have also seen in the past, Mtwagazi Human Rights Restoration, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly, but just to be on the safe side, because I didn't really get their name correctly. But Mtwagazi Institute for Human Rights, I think that's the correct name, which is Tembani Dube, who's in the United Kingdom, that is Greta Spanda, who's in Bulawayo. We've seen them distributing water to residents of Makwekwe, and we commend the good work that they do. But of course, that is not enough. What is enough and what needs to be done is that the people of Bulawayo must have access to clean water. This also brings to the question that we have always been raising. when we're analyzing the local government elections in South Africa, the 23 elections, we neglect discussing issues that affect the city of Bulawayo. We neglect discussing issues that affect us as residents in different cities, towns, and in our villages. And we focus on the presidential candidates, on who should become the president of Zimbabwe. After elections, we are back to the water crisis in the city of kings and queens. So it's critical, as we have made a call, that there must be separation of these elections so that we deal at a political level with the management of water in Bulawayo. How do we get to resolve this? So as the first step towards resolving the water crisis, so that we understand the nature of the problem, why there's lack of coordination by various stakeholders in Bulawayo, the Zambezi Water Trust, which we know was headed by the late Comrade Dumiso Dabengwa, which started around 1992 as the Zambezi Water Project, which is now Zambezi Water Trust, we are told is also involved in the water. So this summit, water summit in the city of Bulawayo, must bring all stakeholders, residents associations, Bulawayo Progressive Residents Associations, BUPRA, and other associations, trade unions, so that the people of Bulawayo in the city of kings and queens will discuss the whole question of managing water in Bulawayo so that the residents of Bulawayo have access to clean water. This load shedding of this shedding of water, where people are struggling to cook, must come to an end. A number of boreholes have been drilled around the city of Bulawayo. We need to discuss all these issues. So, as the Zimbabwe Communist Party, in contributing to the debate around us finding a solution in resolving the crisis of water in Bulawayo, is that we must have a water summit in the city of Bulawayo to discuss all these challenges. If you are a member of the Residents Association, you are a resident of Bulawayo, or you have an interest in the city of Bulawayo, even if you are in the diaspora, let's start a conversation and begin to say, how do we end this water crisis in Bulawayo, which clearly is a question of lack of governance, failure to do proper coordination by those that are mandated to bring water to our homes. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mapena, General Secretary of the Zimbabwe Communist Party. Please like the video, subscribe, write your comments, and hear your views on how we should, or on how this issue should be addressed. Thank you so much.